I'm Janet Spriggs. I am a civil engineer with Hubbard Engineers. I remember taking aptitude tests in high school. I tested positively high for science and math, and I just ended up kind of looking into engineering, and I like big construction equipment, and I thought it was kind of cool. As a civil engineer, all of our work is outside the building. So we want to understand, where's that parking lot going to go? How do you want your ball fields to be laid out? You're going to start out as a drafter, and it's really the best way for you to understand engineering from the ground up. A typical day when you first get into engineering really is working with project managers, understanding the projects that you're working on. And as a project manager, I'm going to take a design and I'm going to mark all over them, and I'm going to make changes. I'm going to say, get onto the computer and let's make these changes digitally, graphically on plans. And then you'll slowly move into document preparation, where you're sending memos, you're creating letters, you're writing reports and doing calculations, putting them into a format that is formal, so that we can submit those to the agencies that want to review that information and permit it. And so as a project manager, as you're moving up, you're going to understand more holistically about a project and work with the client, work with the rest of the design team, such as the landscape architect and of course the architect, to help guide the project. Communication is huge. And I think learning how to communicate verbally and also in written form is going to be a huge element in becoming a well-rounded engineer, because without communication, your projects go nowhere. I love working with people, but sometimes it's also difficult when you have a client that maybe doesn't understand your perspective or has some demands that are really hard to meet, and learning to communicate and work with certain types of clients can be challenging. Well, I think having an aptitude for math and science and the desire to take a problem and try to solve it. Problem solving is what we do every day. There's so many different disciplines of engineering. And even within civil engineering, you've got construction engineering, you've got environmental engineering, you have structural engineering, you have transportation. All of those are under civil engineering as a heading. So make sure that your education is broad in the first couple of years to really give yourself a sense of what the other disciplines are like. You're going to need probably 4 to 5 years as a Bachelor of Science degree. There are 2 major exams that you have to pass. And the first one is your senior year in college, and it's called the Engineering Training Exam, the EIT. It's truly based on your education, on the books that you're studying over the course of 4 or 5 years. So I always recommend April of your graduating year, take that test. And you have to work under a licensed engineer for 4 or 5 years, and then you'll sit for the second and final exam, which is your professional engineering exam, the PE, the acronym after your name when you get that test and you pass it. I think the fun part about being an engineer is just driving around the community, and you see the community, enjoying what you put on paper, 3-dimensionally in reality.